From Adams-Ricci Park in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, this is Central Penn Knights Soccer. The Central Penn Knights women's team hosting our visitors from Christendom, the Lady Crusaders of Christendom, coming up from Central Virginia. Coach Ubaldo Murillo has his team ready to go, although they're very short on numbers today. It's questionable right now whether they will have 10 or 11 on the pitch. Christendom is coming out with 11. Central Penn will either have 10 or 11, but they'll be without substitutions at best. So this could be a tall task for them. So far this season, Central Penn is 4-3 overall, winning percentage of .571. They won their last game, and they're 2-1 at home. So they have certainly a good advantage in terms of those statistics. They have 20 goals scored, 3.3 per game, and they've been shooting pretty well too. Their shot percentage is very high. So good season so far for Central Penn. We'll see what Coach Murillo can do with his squad today. They are playing a man down, so they are in a 4-4-1. That's something you don't hear often in soccer. 4 people in the back line in a sweeper stopper stack with Griffith at sweeper. They've got a four in the back with a stack at sweeper and stopper, and then they have 4 midfielders playing flat across, and then 1 forward. So tough ask for the Lady Knights, but no doubt they can get the job done today. So there's the whistle, there's the kickoff, and here we go. Alina Griffith out of the back, central defender, playing sweeper today, it appears, sweeper stopper setup, and which is really smart on Coach Murillo's part. If you're down a person, super good to have a sweeper back there, especially one the quality of Alina Griffith. She's a top flight player. And as I say that, she's caught a little bit upfield at midfield, but the Knights are able to stop that penetrating pass. So here come the Knights down the left side. Number 4, Hannah Garber, has the ball. Out of bounds, throw to the Knights. So this is a good thing. So the Knights now will be able to move their bodies forward. And when you're playing a man down in soccer and you have to run for 90 minutes with no substitutions in a man down, that's a big ask. So what you do typically is you'll not take a lot of players forward until you're sure you have the ball forward. You don't just run up the field for the sake of running up the field. You have to be very efficient with your energy level. You're actually managing your energy as much as you're managing your running. And so here the Lady Knights with 8 in the area. Unfortunately, their pass is dumped into the deep right-hand corner, and there's no one there to receive it. So the Knights have won that throw. So it's Central Penn ball on the right sideline. Throw from the only shady part of the field. Central Penn drops it back. I must admit I have an unnamed player on the field. Number 15 is not on their roster, so I'm not sure who I'm describing over here on the left wing. But now the ball's over on the right, and Nada Shalal is over it. Now here comes Christendom into the Central Penn end of the field. Quick little wall pass, but that is thwarted quickly by the Central Penn defense. Of course, they have some very strong players back there in the back. Kayla Murin plays right in front of Alina Griffith, and I'll tell you what, with those 2 at sweeper and stopper, you're going to be real smart to go around the end and try to attack from the flanks, because those 2 are very tough in the middle of the field. So here comes Christendom again out of their end, and Central Penn so far is able to control the ball and play quite well. They seem to have a little bit the better of play, even though they're down a person. Pass out of the midfield, and Christendom dumps the ball deep into the left-hand side. So this will be a Central Penn throw coming out of the back left side of the field. Hartenheimer throws it in. The throw-in is intercepted, and Griffith can receive. The ball ends up in the hands of goalkeeper Sierra DeWalt, and Sierra gets her first touch of the game, and we'll let her get out to the 18, and she'll distribute to her teammates. So Central Penn attempting to possess the ball in the middle of the field. Hartenheimer attempts a clear, but it's intercepted by number 3. That's Mary Coyne from Christendom. Coyne attempts a pass to number 15, Christine McLaughlin. That does not connect, and the ball's out of bounds, throw to Christendom. So Christendom will bring the ball in from the right-hand side, inside the 18 area. And almost an illegal throw, but not quite. Interesting on a throw-in, both feet have to be on the ground when the ball is released, and the hands must go through a full range of, well, not a full range of motion, but they must go back evenly and come forward evenly, and I believe they have to go behind the head as well. So that was close, because she didn't have much of a backswing on it. That's why I'm not the referee, I'm the coach. Christendom continues to possess the ball around the outside of the 18. Number 1, Sophia Hudson, knocking it around with number 18 and number 3, Mary Coyne. Central Penn is trying to play defense and win a ball, but it's tough because they're outnumbered the whole time. So number 15 takes it wide. There's another cross from the right side, goes over the goal and behind the goal, and that'll be a goal kick to the Knights. And Mirren will take that kick. Anytime she's playing in the back, she takes the goal kicks. A very strong leg. Interesting story, our goalkeeper, Sierra DeWalt, is not a soccer player. She's actually a basketball player that came out of the basketball squad early this year. And it's great conditioning for basketball season to run up and down a soccer field all day. But, oh, there's a shot off post for Christendom. Interesting take by number 14, Hebla. She just banged that off of the left post, just missed pay dirt. Close call for the Knights, but they remain at 0-0. So Sierra DeWalt, I was saying, is not a soccer player or a goalkeeper, but she's done a terrific job of learning that position. And you talk about on-the-job training when you're playing at the collegiate level and people are shooting balls at you as hard as they do. I can tell you from the classroom, she showed us in the classroom one day, her arms are just covered in bruises because she's just learning how to play the position. And doing a terrific job of it, I got to say. She's really done an amazing job of learning the position quickly. Excellent collection skills by number 1 for Christendom, Hudson. Terrific skills gathering that ball coming in. She's a very, very solid player. Can collect well, pass well, does all the fundamentals well. And here comes the Knights out of the back. Number 1, Morgan, playing in the middle of the field today. Usually she's up top because she's a jet, just like Whistling. And she's playing in the central midfield today. I'll bet you she'll switch off and on and see how that works out with Whistler Verna for Coach Ubaldo. So number 1, Hudson, continues to dazzle with skills, passing and dribbling. And the ball is cleared by Central Penn. So they're parking the bus, and what that means in soccer vernacular is when the other team has the ball and you're down a man, or a woman in this case, what you do is you just pull everybody back and you all play defense, and then when you win the ball and can get the ball cleared, then you come out and you start to attack the other end, and you're selective about how you do it. If you can get one player down there into space and get a breakaway, that's a great way to score, and it saves energy. It's more efficient. On the other hand, you don't want to play defense the entire game either, because it's much more tiring playing defense than it is playing offense. It's just psychological. It's not physically more tiring, but it is psychologically. It wears you down to just be on defense all the time. So, ball deep into the right side. Nice play by Nada, playing good defense against that player. And then she gets knocked down and gets the call on the foul, so it's Central Penn ball. Free kick coming out of the back. Here's Alina Griffith, Maryland product, ready to distribute this ball from the back for Central Penn. Excellent out ball, up to Wisla. And the Crusaders win that ball, and they start bringing it towards the Central Penn end again. So Central Penn playing a lot of defense, more than they would care to, I will say, but they'll do what they have to do for right now, and they'll figure it out here in time. Another thing you can do as a coach in soccer when you're down players is you can rotate them. So you have, a back line of 4, and then you have a line of 4 right in front of them called the midfielders, and you can switch if you're playing a lot of defense like they are, for example, you could take Garber at left mid, move her to left back, and move Nada up to left mid, and just switch them and allow Nada a little bit of time to rest and not have to play defense every minute like she's doing right now. So it's you can just rotate your players as well and use positioning to rest them, especially when the other team's getting the better play. So here's Christendom trying to penetrate against the Knights, but number 28 Partenheimer into right back does another solid job. She's a local girl coming out of Central Dolphin High School, and that's a soccer powerhouse in this area for both men and women. And if she comes from there, you know she knows how to play the game, and it's a valuable asset for Coach Murillo. So it's a throw in for the Knights, left-hand side, just trying to escape their end and get over midfield. One shot on goal so far, right on frame, so accurately that it hit the frame. That was my number 14 for Christendom. Just hit the upright, and that's the only real legitimate scoring opportunity so far. But Central Penn needs to get that ball out of their own end, because if you let them play in there for too long, sooner or later they'll get their opportunity. And there was a real nice opportunity for Christendom, and number 1 played a beautiful ball in for number 15, McLaughlin. She just wasn't quite ready for it. I guess it might have been a little deep for her, and Sierra DeWalt comes out and makes the play, covers it, and her left-footed punt takes the ball out to Hannah Garber on the left side. Ball cleared out of bounds. It's a Central Penn throw-in. So interesting in college soccer, when you sub a player in the first half, they're done for the first half. So even though Christendom has 2 substitutions, they can't use them to run their players in and out. Well, actually, they have 3 substitutes over there, and they cannot use them to run their players in and out of the game, much like you might see at a younger child's soccer game. That's not how this works. In collegiate soccer, when a player's out in the first half, they're done for the remainder of the first half. So there's a shot, a hard shot. Sierra DeWalt, good save. Number 15, McLaughlin again for Christendom. She's a tall girl. She's really able to stretch out, and she got herself into space and had a real nice shot on DeWalt, but DeWalt made a great save. So anyhow, I was saying Christendom coming in from the right side, and they are all bunched up over there. Nada's trying to clear the ball for Central Penn, but there is what I would call a swarm of soccer players over on the right side of the pitch, and they are very bunched up, much like you might see at a young players game, where they're just sort of magnetized to the ball. Okay, here comes Morgan out of the back for Central Penn. Real nice ball up to Garber. Hopefully they can start connecting some passes and get that ball to the other end. Morgan again dropping the ball to Nada. And here comes Christendom again. This is McLaughlin again, right-hand side, teeing up a left-footed shot. Hard shot, one hopper, right to Sierra DeWalt, who again handles it. Sure hands. Good job, Sierra. Good save. And here comes Central Penn. Central Penn's going to have to up the ante on the energy level. They're going to have to start expending a little more energy offensively and not just play defense, as this is going to get tiring psychologically and physically. Here's Partenheimer coming up out of the right-hand side. Ball is cleared to the middle, intercepted by Morgan. Here comes Morgan out of the back, and Christendom's right there again. It's amazing as a coach, when you're down 1 player, it feels like you're down 5. It seems like every time a ball bounces, it bounces right to one of their players, because that extra person just feels like 3. They're everywhere. Wislyn Verna seems to be getting a little tired of the numerical advantage. She's starting to work really hard defensively in the middle field. Hopefully she'll be able to change the flow of the game. She was up top playing as a single forward, so she wasn't really involved defensively, but she has now settled back into the midfield to give Coach Ubaldo a full 10 full complement of 10 players back there, so they just don't have a forward to go to on the transition. So that's not going to be advantageous to their counterattack, but as they go to defend this corner kick against Christendom, they will have a full 10 back in the area to protect their goal. Corner taken, short to number 15. She drops it outside, and the cross is very wide of the goal. Very wide of the goal. Number 5, Anna Hudson, hit that ball, and it's way out there. So another corner kick to Christendom. Interesting, they have number 1 taking their corner kicks. That's Sophia Hudson. She's probably the most skilled midfielder. I guess she plays the most consistent ball, so that's why they have her doing that job. She's not particularly tall, so that is characteristic of putting a shorter player out there. On the other hand, she might be their best player technically, so it would be nice for them to have somebody with her skills in the box to collect the ball coming in from the corner, but I totally get it. They have plenty of size to score with on corners. Christendom again controlling the ball. That pass is intercepted by Garber. She drops it to Nada, who tries to clear it. And, another close shot off frame. Number 3 for Christendom, Mary Coyne, this time banging a ball off the outside of the upright. Now, that was not square off the upright, but it was off the outside edge. And she hit the ball hard again. So Central Penn's got to be careful. If you just play defense, sooner or later they're going to get shots, and that's not what you're looking for. And it has been a while since Central Penn has possessed the ball over the midfield line. All right, well, it's still 0-0. It's a beautiful afternoon for this time of year. I would say we're in the neighborhood of 65, 68 degrees. It's a little bit cool, but it is really nice. Christendom, oh boy, there's trouble. Great shot by number 1. That's Hudson again for Christendom with a very, very open shot at about 11 meters, and she just put it over the crossbar a little bit high. And unfortunately, that's not going to put any points on the board for Christendom, so she'll have to keep trying, but she's a very solid player. My guess would be if you let her have too many shots, she'll finish one of them, and that'll be that. So it's time for Central Penn to get control of the ball and pass it out of their own end, to keep the ball on the grass, pass it efficiently, take that ball to the other end, and have some shots. And number 15 takes a rather weak shot of about 22 meters, not a strong shot at all, and that just sort of dribbles up to goalkeeper Sierra DeWalt. So here comes Central Penn yet again, ready to punt from the 18. And here comes Christendom right back at the Knights, and they are proving to be a real handful. There's a crossing ball to the far side, and number 14 hammers it home. That's Helena, a ball for Christendom with the goal. Beautiful crossing ball from number 15, Christian McLaughlin. Put a real nice ball through the mouth of the goal, and unfortunately she was wide open on the back post. So it is 1-0 Christendom, and again, that's what happens when you just play defense. So, Central Penn's going to have to find a way to become more offensive minded, because you might as well lose 4-0 and go down and shoot as lose 2-0 and not go down and shoot the ball. You've got to go down there and give it the college try. Pardon the pun, but you have to get down there and get into space and create opportunities and try to score goals. You can't just let the other team come at you. So there's Morgan possessing the ball in the midfield. She gets it to Wislin. And here comes Central Penn down the right-hand side. Unfortunately, the ball's dumped in, and there's no one there. Fortunately, it was the forward that played it, and the forward can't run onto a ball they played. So it's that's again a numbers game. There was a handball, but it wasn't called. So Christendom will get away with that one. Here comes Central Penn down the left-hand side. Garber possessing the ball. It's out of bounds. I would guess that's a corner to Central Penn. Yep. So Central Penn with their first legitimate scoring opportunity here. It's a corner kick We're Central Penn traveling left to right, and looks like Whistlin's going to take the. Looks like she's going to take the corner kick. Morgan makes a play on the corner. Nada takes a long shot. Nada got her second goal ever in their last game. She's not usually more of a defensive player. And she was telling me on campus today that in their last game, she had her second goal ever. She was very excited about it, and that's deserved, because when someone does their time in the back of the field and does all that hard work to play defense, it's wonderful when they get the reward of scoring a goal. It becomes a huge thrill. So there was just a collision over on the left-hand side. I think it's Nada, actually, but I'm not positive. But whoever it was is down. Yep, yeah, she got run into, and I think actually she ran into the Christendom player. That'll probably be a free kick to Christendom. She's holding her shoulder. I don't know if she's going to stay in the game or not. We'll see here. So they're letting Central Penn have that kick. Wow, okay. All right, so Central Penn ball coming out of the far left-hand sideline, about halfway maybe into the half. And that is teed up. And the goalkeeper for Christendom handles that ball. That was an interesting play. I'm not even sure how to describe it, to be perfectly honest. That was just strange what happened there, but we'll just let it ride at that. And it's Central Penn trying to win that ball back. Here's Hannah Garber from the back, and Lena Griffith trying to play defense against a persistent Christendom Crusaders team. The Lady Crusaders are really coming hard at them. There's a hard shot by number 15, McLaughlin, again, and she tries to tee it up again, and Griffith blocks that shot. Good job by Alina. There's another hard shot from number 1, Sophia Hudson, and that goes wide left, so it'll be a goal kick to Central Penn. A lot of pressure on the Central Penn Lady Knights defense. A lot of pressure on them. So I'm Doug Fisher, and I'm here with the professor, Paul Miller, who is the producer of our show. And we're again coming from Adams-Ricci Park, Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, with Lady Knights soccer playing the Crusaders of Christendom University out of Virginia. And Christendom is sporting a slim 1-0 lead early in the match. And Central Penn trying to bring it together in terms of getting a little more offensive pressure on Christendom. If they get down there, I believe they can score. But you have to possess the ball and be able to carry it to the other end with one less player than Christendom. And that's been the big factor in the game so far, is the Lady Knights playing down a person that's a big ask. So Coach Murillo has rearranged his lineup. He now has Miss Morgan back in the central midfield, and he's still playing with a single forward, but he's playing more of a 3-5-1 instead of a 3-5-2 in soccer terminology. That's the system of play. It looks more like 3 players in the back now, 5 in the midfield and 1 up front, when there is somebody up front. Wislin Verna is so fast that she can literally come back and play in the midfield and be up front at forward when he needs to be. Here comes Morgan for the Knights down the right-hand side of the field. A little bit of an attack for Central Penn build-up. Now, unfortunately, there are 4 players downfield for Central Penn, and now the Crusaders are coming the other way. They're onside, and they're coming with numbers. It's 4 against 4 in the back for Christendom. Thankfully for Central Penn, number 8, Kayla Mirren, comes up and makes a really fine play defensively, and she just blocked another shot. And there's a sign of how much Sierra DeWalt has learned. That shot was wide of goal, but it ricocheted off of a defender. So had that gone off the end line, that would have been a corner kick for the Crusaders of Christendom. And thankfully, Sierra had the awareness to grab that ball and not let them have that corner. Good job, Sierra DeWalt. So it's a kick for the Lady Knights coming out of the back off of a foul. Murin's teeing it up about 30 meters off the end line. Hits a low ball up to Morgan in the midfield. Central Penn attempting to possess the ball out of the back, and again, when we're in the midfield, they're going to be down a person every time, maybe two in that particular area, and that's tough. Shot off the end line for Christendom, and it's a goal kick for the Lady Knights. That means Murin will tee that ball up and attempt to blast it out of the back and get it up front to one of their front runners, so Central Penn can have a shot at a goal here. Wislyn Verna's obviously the target that we're looking for, a young lady that moved to the United States from Jamaica, a hotbed of soccer talent. It's just amazing football played in the country of Jamaica. While it's small, it's the talent level's not. They're very, very good, and she's a terrific player and an even better young lady. Really, really fine person. Pleasure to have her on the Central Penn campus every day of the year. So ball played in against Central Penn, cleared by Murin. Boy, she's got a leg. I mean, she's right-footed, and she just took her left foot and cleared a ball about 35 meters in the air. That's a big hit. And here comes the Knights switching fields. And Christendom with their controlling midfielder, knocking the ball over to McLaughlin. Here comes McLaughlin from the right side. Oh, what a hit. McLaughlin from about 26 meters just rocketed a ball off the top frame. Oh, she hit that thing so hard. That was quite a hit. There's no way of stopping that shot. That was right square on that top bar, and Central Penn's lucky. We're lucky to get away with that one, because that could have easily been 2-0. But thankfully, it's still 1-0, and the Knights are still in the game. And there's Alina Griffith with a great defensive move coming out of the back. I just missed Wislyn coming up with that ball in transition. But boy, what a great defensive play by Griffith. She's just a terrific player. Really solid defender. Ball played left side by Christendom, mishandled and out of bounds. That'll be a throw to Central Penn. Partenheimer coming up with the ball. Central Dolphin product, number 28, playing right back today for Central Penn. We're probably about halfway through this half, if you will. Score still 1-0, Christendom. And here comes the Lady Crusaders. As usual, number 1, Hudson in control. She's got the feet on that team. She has amazing control of the ball and great skills, and she'll create a lot of opportunities. She and McLaughlin are both a real handful up top. And the ball ends up going off the end line. That's another goal kick for Central Penn. So here's Murin knocking the ball out to Hannah Garber. And here comes Christendom the other way. Number 15 had a point-blank shot at the goal, and Alina Griffith just did a great job with his slide tackle that took that ball off her foot. And boy, let me tell you, when you slide tackle in the area, it scares a coach, because if you slide tackle in the area and that becomes a foul, it's not a foul, it's actually a penalty kick, and they get a shot from 11 meters with no defense except the goalkeeper. So obviously you don't want that to happen, but I would say Alina did the exact same thing as scoring a goal there. She in all likelihood saved one, and that's the exact same thing. So another corner kick for Christendom. They do have a player open, but the corner kick comes right into Sierra DeWalt, who makes the save, sure-handed. Sierra's handled every ball cleanly today so far, no mishandles. And she's able to clear the ball out to the left-hand side. Unfortunately, McLaughlin has it again, and she's coming out of the back, and Central Penn intercepts the ball. Murin with the takeaway. She gets it to Morgan, but unfortunately Morgan loses the ball. In all fairness to these young ladies, most of them are playing out of position. they're not where they normally are, so it's tough for them. They're learning to play positions they are not accustomed to. Excellent ball by number 1 Hudson for Christendom. Drops it back to her central defense. They knock it around to the right-hand side. And that's the part of a soccer game that non-soccer fans find boring, but it's a key part of the strategic aspect of the game, and that is just being able to switch the ball to a different point of attack where you might have better numbers than you have in the current point of attack. And that's if you can knock a ball from the left side to the right side in a hurry, like they just did off of Hudson's foot, then that's a weapon, especially when you're up one person. So Partenheimer with a nice takeaway coming out of the right back position. Christendom had an attack going, and Partenheimer was able to win that ball and clear it out. And Central Penn is dispossessed, and here comes the Lady Crusaders down the left-hand side. Number 14, Hibble, who already has a goal, plays a rather weak shot in. Sierra DeWalt with the save, and Central Penn comes the other way. Sarah has a fairly tough time with punting. She's probably never punted in her life, and she's still learning the art of getting a punt out of there. So unfortunately, the punts are probably, maybe 20-25 meters. So it's not what you hope for, but it's all you can ask for given the fact that she's still learning the job. So here comes Morgan up to Wislin out of the back. This is an opportunity for Central Penn. If you've got her out in space one-on-one against a defender, you've got an opportunity to score. Yeah, Wislin Verna just a little disappointed right now. She's looking for her teammates to get up there and help her, and unfortunately, and I know she knows this, they've been playing defense solid every single minute of this game, and they're tired. There's a lot of fatigue in those legs already because all they do is play defense, and suddenly she needs them down at the other end of the field, and she's sort of on her own, but she does a great job down there. So here's Christendom coming into the back, and Alina Griffith playing good defense against them, and Alina is able to negate the first attack, and then Murin comes up and wins the ball away again and knocks it out to midfield. Unfortunately, Christendom has it again, and they're just knocking it around in the back and starting to bring it into Central Penn's end. So Central Penn's going to have to make an adjustment here. I don't know what Coach Ubaldo will do. It's his squad, obviously. One thing he could consider is taking his front runner, that is Wislin Verna, shot from Christendom, but Sierra makes the save. He can take us forward and just move her up next to their last defender. Wherever their last defender goes, he could have Verna stand next to that defender. And when they win a ball and they get the chance, knock it into space and let her outrun the defender to that ball and create, a more what we call a through ball or a breakaway situation. Speaking of which, here's a breakaway for Christendom, unfortunately, or for them, and fortunately for us. Number 15, Christine McLaughlin, shoots the ball left-footed and it goes wide right. So yeah, that's an option for Coach Ubaldo, is to take his front runner and put her parallel to the very last defender, and we'll see if he goes with some option like that to see if he could create that one opportunity that could create that one goal, because you only need one shot to tie this game up. It doesn't matter how many shots each time has. As we say in soccer, it's not how, it's how many. And even though Christendom has had the better play by 10-1 in this game, they have not had the better scoring. It's still 1-0, and that just means one lucky opportunity or a good opportunity for Central Penn, and they'll be down and the game will be tied. So you just never know what could happen here. Here's Murin with a drop ball coming up out of the back. Unfortunately, her ball is deflected. I think she was trying to get it to Wislin Verna, but it just didn't quite work out. Oh boy, there's a really good ball from Hudson up to number 15, McLaughlin. She makes a great move on Griffith. There's a hard shot from McLaughlin, and oh boy, that's unfortunate. Sierra DeWalt did a great job of diving out and getting a hand on that ball. It was a tremendous shot into side netting, and anytime a shot hits side netting, it's a great shot. And Sierra just got a fingertip on it, but not quite enough, and unfortunately, it's 2-0 Christendom. So you have to give them credit. They are taking advantage of that extra person and having the better of play in this game. And And now they're starting to put some fresh legs on the field too, which will even double the difficulty for Central Penn. So I guess from what I see here, this is classy. I gotta say, this is extremely classy on the part of the Christendom coach. The head coach of the Crusaders has pulled a player off the field. So Central Penn's playing with 10, and Christendom has a 2-goal lead. And you do play these games to win. This is college soccer. This is not recreational. So you're out there to win. But she's got a 2-0 lead, and she has the better of play. She takes a player off the field and makes the playing 10v10, which gives Central Penn a chance to possess a ball and maybe get down to the other end and at least feel some competition in this game. So that is a real act of sportsmanship on the part of Christendom and their squad. I've seen that done before the game. I've never seen it done during the game. That's really a terrific move. So Murin clears a ball out of the back off of Christendom. Ball's out of bounds, and that is to Christendom. So it'll be a throw on the right-hand side. Christendom in the Central Penn end, coming in from high on the right side. Throw-in is intercepted by Whistling Verna. Here she comes out of the back, looking for an opportunity to distribute. Being defended by number 18 for Christendom. Tough defender, Stahl. Real nice play by her. So now Central Penn Lady Knights have a throw in right-hand side in the Christendom end. So this is their chance to start getting some attack going. They're fighting for space. Here comes Morgan down the right-hand side. She's a terrific player with great speed. Unfortunately, with fewer players, their tendency has just been to play ball straight down the field and kind of hope. And I'd like to see the Lady Knights not give up on their passing game when they see that goal. I'd like to see them continue to pass right up to it. It's tough, but it can be done. So here's a rarity. Here's a goal kick for Christendom. That's only their first or second of the game. Out the midfield, great play by Murin, bringing it back inside to Morgan. And Central Penn has control again. So you can see when the field is even and both teams have the same number of players, Central Penn has just as much possession time and quality on the ball. There's a shot by Morgan, a real nice shot from the right side, a little far out. Unfortunately, when a player is moving right and shooting left, it's really critical that they turn their plant foot and aim their plant foot at the target. And she didn't quite get her plant foot turned enough to be able to put authority on that shot, and it just rolled passively to the goalkeeper for Christendom. And Christendom's without their goalkeeper today. They don't have her here. Oh, there's McLaughlin. Point blank shot saved by Sierra DeWalt. Good job, Sierra. McLaughlin has just been a machine up there for Christendom. She has had the ball early and often there. She wins the goal kick, takes a touch past Griffith, takes a hard shot wide, and Sierra DeWalt reaches out and just extends her right arm and makes a terrific save. Good job. Central Penn Sierra DeWalt, their goalkeeper, is an accounting major, a very, very, very top flight student. Had her in class, and she's terrific academically as well as a good athlete. And she plays on the Central Penn basketball team. So it's Central Penn ball right about midfield. Murin's going to tee this thing up right on the midfield line and take a free kick towards the Christendom goal. Maybe, just maybe, she can get Whistling Verna into space. And unfortunately, her ball goes to the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper bobbles it, but is able to fall on it and makes the save. And Christendom still has the ball coming out of their back. And you can tell that this is not their regular goalkeeper, but she's done the job so far. Hudson with a real nice flip ball out of the back. Sometimes when you have to take the ball up and over someone, but you don't want it to go very far, you just slide your foot under the ball, lift it up in the air, and flip it right over their body. and you can just flip it to somebody behind them. Okay, there's a foul call against Christendom to Central Penn coming out of the back. And that's one of those calls that everybody complains about because they don't understand it. But in soccer, when there's a foul, if the team that's fouled maintains possession of the ball, the official will give them a second of advantage to see if that advantage with the ball maintains. If it does, oh, there's a great shot by Whistling Vernon. Wide left, but great take for Central Penn. That's a good scoring opportunity. So anyhow, you have a situation where advantage is offered to the player. If the advantage disappears quickly, the referee will go back and call that foul where it happened maybe 2 seconds or 3 seconds ago, and that stirs up the fans because the fans don't understand advantage, and they'll get upset and complain about the call. But the fact is, it's the correct call. They know what they're doing. They're refs for a reason. Doesn't mean as a coach you like everything they do, though. That's for sure. But they have a much better view of it than anybody else. Ball through for Christendom. Sierra DeWalt comes off her line, makes a good protective save, knees forward and protects herself and comes up with the ball, and now she'll punt, trying to get the ball out of the back. I suspect that we're down into the final minutes of the first half, and soon Central Penn will have a chance to rest. Here comes Morgan down the left-hand side, looking for help. Unfortunately, that help comes in the form of number 18 for Christendom, who wins the ball going the other way. Up to McLaughlin, and Griffiths on her, and Alina wins that ball and sends it the other way. We're back up front to Morgan again. Now can Morgan get somebody into space? It looks like Whistling Verna is in the midfield now, so she's not your front runner, and she's got the speed to get out into space. Nice win by Murin in the back. She distributes deep into space, and there's no one to run onto it, unfortunately. So Central Penn is Whistling takes a shot at it, but she was in the midfield, so it's just too far to run, not able to run onto that ball. So unfortunately, it remains 2-0 in favor of the Christendom Lady Crusaders. The Crusaders have not had the greatest shooting percentage this year, but in this game they have. They've only been shooting .235, but they do get 16 shots a game, and that's a lot of balls on frame. So I would say they get more than their share. They just haven't finished particularly well. But they finished enough to win 6 games. 6 out of 15. They're 6-9 coming up out of Virginia. Such a nice day. They probably aren't noticing any difference in the weather. They're 4-5 on the road, so they do have a losing record when traveling, and that should give Central Penn hope that playing with the same number of players, perhaps they could turn this thing around and get going the other way. Sometimes all it takes is one goal to just convince everybody that this is possible, and then all of a sudden the tide turns and the momentum shifts, and all of a sudden Central Penn's on their way to a victory. Central Penn boys team just returned from North Carolina. They lost a match 4-3 to the Mid-Atlantic school down right on the beach. One of the nicest pitches you will ever see. It's where you want to play soccer. It's just absolutely flat, super smooth, like a pool table soccer field. Oh, there's a shot and a score for Christendom. Ball played across the mouth of the goal by number 15, McLaughlin, right to number 5, Martha Blank. And Martha netted a left-footed ball. She didn't even have to hit it hard because there was nothing Sierra Walt could do on that play. Not a thing she could do. She needs her backside defenders to be on their marks every time. And if they're not, she's going to be done for, because a goalkeeper doesn't have eyes in the back of their head. They have to have backside defense every time. And that's just a factor of players playing out of position. It just happens. So 3-0 Christendom. That's unfortunate before halftime to see them be able to get out to a lead like that. But you know what? They earned it. So that's the way it goes. Hopefully we'll have a halftime whistle here soon, and we'll be able to allow Central Penn to rest up, and Coach Murillo can make some tactical adjustments or some strategic adjustments and see if he can get things back together and maybe come back out in the second half and get the first goal. Getting one goal can have a world of difference. Here comes comes Christendom right down the center of the field. Samantha Stoll dishes the ball off to McLaughlin. It's won by Central Penn, and it's up to Morgan in the front, but she comes up looking, and she's 1 against 5. Now it's 2 against 5, and that's not good odds in soccer. Let me tell you, when you have to dribble a ball with your feet, if there's 2 of you and 5 of them, you're in trouble. That's real tough. One of you better be really, really good. There's Whistling Verna coming up through the midfield. She's quick. Unfortunately, she's just outnumbered. It's still 4 versus 6 up front. Partenheimer wins another ball. Good job by her. Plays it forward. Gets it out on the right-hand side to number 15. And Christendom's able to clear, and here they come the other way, 4v4. 4v3. Numbers for Christendom, and a bad pass is won by Murin. She is a wrecking ball when it comes to stopping the counterattack. She's always in the right place at the right time. And she's an intimidating young soccer player. Kayla Murin comes out of Donegal High School. That's down in the Lancaster area. So throw in for Central Penn, right-hand side. Verna with the throw. Gets the ball back from Morgan. And dumps it back to central defender Alina Griffith. Alina, a freshman defender out of Westminster High School. Maryland Westminster, not Virginia Westminster. I say that because Westminster in Virginia is a hotbed of soccer, close to JMU University, which is a top flight Division I soccer program. So you would almost expect the halftime whistle to blow almost any time to end this half. I expect that whistle to blow any second, and the half to be over, and both teams can go regroup. In particular, Central Penn will have time to go get their wits about them and get some rest, get some water, and see if they can get themselves another chance. So here comes number 14 with a left-footed shot. Wow, she's almost got to be left-footed. That was a real strong left-footed ball from number 14, Pebble, and she already has a goal in this game. She scored the first tally for Christendom. So quite a battle there. That was just enjoyable to watch. I hope you were just able to watch those two battle for that ball. I really didn't want to interrupt it with words. Number 14, the goal scorer I just mentioned of Helena Hibble for Christendom, just had a great battle with number 9, Whistling Verna for Central Penn. And those two are fine soccer players, and they just battled and battled and battled. And that's boy, I don't even know what to liken that to, but it was really, really enjoyable to watch. So it is halftime. The whistle blows 2 times at the half, 3 times when the match is over. And so it is halftime, so we'll give this a rest. And this is Doug Fisher for Central Penn College, and the producer, Professor Paul Miller, coming to you from Adams-Ricci Park in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, where it is 3-0 Christendom, and we'll talk to you after halftime. Good afternoon and welcome back to Adams-Ricci Park, Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, where the Central Penn Lady Knights are down 3 goals. It's a 3-0 score against the Christendom Crusaders, who have traveled up from Virginia today. Coach Murillo's squad has a tough ask. They started with 10 players, not 11, so they start out down a player, and then they had an injury, so they're now down to 9 players, and that's no way to win a soccer game. That's really tough. Nada Shalal went out with an injury. She went down very hard, I think on her shoulder, and I think she might have hit her head as well. And for a college student, you don't want to be hitting them in the head. They need all those brain cells to take those exams and whatnot. So it's important that we protect their upper extremities. If I hit my head, I just say, well, there's no vital organs up there, but it's not the way it is for a college student. So Central Penn will come out and see what we can do tactically and strategically. I'm sure Coach Ubaldo made some adjustments with his squad and trying to figure out a way that they can get Wislyn Verna into space. The young lady from Jamaica originally is just a terrific talent with amazing speed, and they do have the players in the back to knock a ball forward to her into space in the form of Morgan and several other real good players. And hopefully Central Penn will be able to string together just enough passes, just like that one right there, where they can knock a ball out of the back, get it up front to Verna, and not have her have 3 defenders on her, but give her a chance to get into space and go. She's a very unselfish player, so it's a little hard to get her to. Well, there's a long shot by Murin, but it's wide right, saved by the Christendom goalkeeper. Little soccer courtesy there. Number 8, Kayla Murren, made a very difficult tackle against Christendom, and the ref blew the whistle, and it was a foul. But a lot of times when players are frustrated by a whistle, they'll kick the ball away and take a chance on a yellow card, and she kicked the ball away. No yellow card. Christendom's ball, free kick coming out of their back. They're about 15-20 meters back into their own space on the right-hand side. Christendom going left to right as we see it. Central Penn right to left. They'll have an advantage with the wind a little bit, going right to left, as the big flag in the distance is traveling that way. Pretty good wind today. Not sure what that call was about, but it is Central Penn's ball coming out of their back, so no complaints here. When you're down 3-0, you take every advantage you can get. I didn't see anybody touch each other, but there is some sort of call coming out of the back. Could have been a handball. Bye, best friend. So Central Penn's ball, Murin teeing it up in the back, knocks it forward, but again, Wislyn's just not up there in the very front of the field. She does connect a wall pass with Morgan, but it doesn't quite connect, and unfortunately now you got Christendom coming the other way, 4v4, and they are into space. Number 5 has the ball and takes a one-time hammer from the right side. It just goes wide left. That was a dangerous situation for Central Penn again. Number 5 is Anna Hudson, and she just, excuse me, number 5 for Christendom is Martha Blank, and she just crushed that ball. I did not expect her to shoot from over 30 meters, but she really hammered that shot, and it could have been trouble if it was just inside the far post, but she missed. So here comes Christendom back into the Central Penn area. Central Penn is trying to push forward while they have more bodies. Unfortunately, there's a deep ball played in to number 1, Hudson. And Alina Griffith just turned on the jets and blew by her and took that ball away and turned it outside. So throw into Christendom, but a great defensive play by Alina. Oh no, I'm sorry, it's Alina's throw in. So Central Penn ball coming in with a throw, and here comes Wislyn Verna down the left-hand side. She is a jet. Central Penn's throw, she just needs help. There's Morgan. Throw into Morgan. She's got 3-4 defenders on her, and can't quite connect a pass over on the right-hand side. And Christendom on the counterattack. Left to right, here we go. Number 1, Hudson, probably their most skilled player, controlling the pace of the game, coming out back right. Knocks it forward left to McLaughlin, and again, Alina Griffith, the wrecking ball, comes through and clears the ball out for Central Penn. When you think about the number of goals that Griffith and Garber and Murin and those girls have saved in the back today, this could have been a really ugly game. People forget that when you save a goal, it's the same thing as scoring one, and they really have scored a lot of goals in the form of their defense today. They've been terrific in the central portion of the back of the field. So here's Christendom. They've rearranged their lineup a little bit. Kate Sanchi is coming back out of central defense now, and she knocked the ball up forward right to Christendom's. And I see they've got some players starting the second half who did not start the first half, so they've got fresh legs. There's number 1, Hudson, knocking the ball around, attempting a wall pass with number 18. Doesn't quite come through. Morgan in the middle of the field trying to get the ball forward to Whistling Verna. We call her Whiz, or Whiz. And she's a special talent. If we can just get her the right ball into space, she'll get her chance in this game. So Christendom has come out again with 10 on the field, so a true act of sportsmanship on their part, playing with a 3-goal lead. They're going to play down to Central Penn, so Central Penn only has 10 players. Actually, Central Penn's now playing with 9. What Christendom has done, their coach has said, we'll play with 10 instead of 11 and not have a 2-person advantage, and that's true sportsmanship. That's what you like to see in the game of soccer. Ball played in from the right side by Hudson. Murin gathers it, clears it, knocks it off with number 11 for Christendom, and it's out of bounds, ball to Central Penn. That's Beja Siski that knocked the ball out of bounds. Throw into Morgan up front, and she doesn't quite get to it, cleared out of the back, and it's Christendom ball coming towards the Central Penn goal. Lena Griffith intercepts a pass, attempts to clear, and it's knocked right back into the Central Penn end. Here comes Christendom's number 15, long shot. Oh boy, she hit that square. There's a real good point, if you can see that on the video, and I don't know if it's that clear or not, but I'll bet it is. If you could watch that shot in the air, it knuckled, just like a knuckleball in baseball. It didn't spin one bit, and that's how you tell when you hit a shot perfectly. If it knuckles through the air and actually moves like a knuckleball, it actually moves in an unpredictable fashion, just like a knuckleball in baseball, you have hit that ball as square as you can, and that is a high velocity, very difficult to save for the goalkeeper's shot. And that ball was hit that well, and that does not happen often. Oh, what a great save by Sierra DeWalt. Christendom just had a breakaway, and number 5, Hudson, had a point-blank shot on her from maybe 5 meters, and somehow she got a hand on that ball and saved a goal. It would have been all for nothing because this is an offsides call. We're coming the other way. Griffith brings the ball out of the back up front to Whistling, and she's able to get past the Christendom defender and dump a ball into space. Doesn't quite make it to Morgan. Now, so Murin wins the ball out of the back. She knocks it into space for Whistling, and here we go. So here's Verna going down the left-hand side, one-on-one against the defender, and she's just fast enough to run with anybody. Takes a long shot, which is actually an advantage for Verna. She has a really hard shot, but it's really long. It goes a long ways, and it tends to be high. So if she shoots up close, a lot of times she'll hit the ball over the goal. But when she shoots from long distance, it ends up going in over the goalkeeper's head and being very deadly to the other team. So good to see her taking her shots from well out there, and she's got the leg to do it. She's one young lady that can take a shot from just about anywhere offensively and manage to get it on goal. I mean, she's very good. So it's a Christendom throw-in, back left-hand side for them, right in front of us. Christendom again going left to right as we see it. Central Penn's Morgan gets flattened in the midfield. She goes 50-50 for a ball with with Christendom's number 18. That's Samantha Stahl, and Stahl wins the physical part of it, but Morgan gets the call. So it is Central Penn's ball, and Murin is teeing this thing up. If it was about 15 meters closer, I think she'd have a go at it. And she's going to have to knock this to somebody from this distance, and unfortunately it's wide left and a little too low for anybody to handle. When you're playing a ball in from the midfield and you're knocking it into the area, one, you have to have more than one player up there, but two, that ball has to be played high. It has to come down in the area, and this was a low line drive. Low line drives are not going to work in that scenario. Maybe in South America, but not here. It's just not an American game trait. We don't quite have that development in this country yet. So here comes Christendom down the left-hand side. The young lady that scored their first goal, number 14, is teeing it up right now. That's Hibble, and she loses the ball. And there's a call for Central Penn. Number 1, Sophia Hudson, just kind of flattened Central Penn player over on the left-hand sideline, and she hit her so hard she knew it was a foul, and she just stopped dribbling before the ref made the call. So that made it easy on the referee. He knew there was a foul when the player gives it up. And here comes Christendom down the right-hand side, number 16 with a hard shot. Ricochets off of Griffith, and that's going to be a corner kick for Christendom. With their height and their fresh legs, this could be a dangerous situation for Central Penn. So they'll need to man up everybody here, and or as you say in these games, women up everybody, and they got to get 1-to-1 here and make sure that they match up to every player, make sure that everybody's covered, because Christendom has enough height that if they can get a ball on ahead, it'll end up in the goal. There's a ball right to number 16. She has a one-time shot at it, and it just ricochets off of her foot and doesn't quite go where she was trying to get it. So here comes Christendom. Number 1 distributes it. Hudson distributes it out to the right side. Here's number 5 teeing up a hard shot. Just misses wide left. That's Anna Hudson with a real screaming shot off the right-hand side. Just missed the goal to the left. Sierra DeWalt was doing everything she could to get over there. She might have made the save if she had to, but that shot was off goal, so it's a goal kick to Central Penn. We're about 10 minutes into the second half, and it's not a lot different than the first half. It's pretty much Christendom controlling play with an extra man or an extra woman on the field, and unfortunately for Central Penn, Nada Shalal is still on the sideline injured, so I'm guessing she's done for the day. If she stayed off this long, she probably won't come back. And coaches have a very strict policy. If there's any hint or sign of a concussion, and I do think she may have hit her head, then they will not put that player back on the pitch without a medical person saying it is safe. Here's a through ball for Christendom. Great pass. Oh, what a save. What a save for Sierra DeWalt. I'll tell you what, Christendom's most skilled player, Sophia Hudson, had a point-blank shot, again, inside of the 6-meter line. I mean, she was right there on top of the goal, hammered the ball, and somehow Sierra, with her reflexes, just reached out and made that save. Terrific job by Sierra DeWalt. And the ball's back in play off a goal kick by Central Penn. Number 2 distributes it out of the back to Christendom, up to number 1, Hudson. Ball goes off the head of number 19 for Christendom. That's Madigan Gannon. Just entered the game just a few minutes ago. Her first action of the day. Good job, Madigan. Here's a ball played back to Central Penn in the middle of the field. And here comes Whistling Verna down the right-hand side. She's got 5 defenders sitting in front of her. So that's a tough ask. And sure enough, Christendom is able to take the ball away and go the other way. When you have that man advantage, it's a big deal. Here comes Alina Griffith out of the back for Central Penn, bringing the ball down the left-hand side, and she's the whole way down close to the 18-meter mark for Christendom. So great run by Alina Griffith. Terrific coming out of the back, and that will fatigue you. That will make you tired. Morgan continuing to work really hard for Central Penn defensively. But unfortunately, here's a through ball to Sophia Hudson, and she is clean in the back. She gets by Partenheimer and now has a wide open shot in the middle of the goal, and she passes it off to number 14, who hits right post, and Sierra DeWalt makes the save coming off the post. Wow, that was close. That shot went right to the right post, hit the upright, and came off the upright, and somehow Sierra DeWalt was able to dive at it facing her own goal and grab that ball and not let it ricochet off of her. And I've seen that happen more times than I want to think about, where a shot hits post, ricochets off a player, and ends up in the goal. So there's a foul call against Christendom, number 18 working hard for them. That's Samantha Stahl. So that gives Alina Griffith a free kick coming out of the back for Central Penn. Griffith knocks that ball forward, and Central Penn is not able to get a foot on it up front, and unfortunately here comes Christendom the other way. Another through ball to number 1, Hudson. And she's a player you do not want to have the ball near your goal. She's a really skilled, gifted player, but she chose our best defender to go up against, and Alina Griffith is one tough girl. She does not cut players any slack. Deceptively fast, I have to say, too. All right, so Christendom on the right-hand side, they knock across through to the center of the area, and it is cleared away by Murin. Yet again, between Murin and Griffith, they have really bailed out the Knights today. Ball cleared, but it's a throw-in again for Christendom. Right-hand side, about 15 meters down from the midfield line. Christendom's a very solid team. They're very well coached, and they play well, and they're good sportsmen. I mean, there's nothing you can say bad about this squad. They're very impressive, and they've earned their 3-goal lead. I would love to see these two teams play with both teams having all their players. I think that would be a really even and really interesting and fun soccer game to watch. Unfortunately, today it's just a game of numbers, and Central Penn doesn't have them. Therefore, they're down 3-0. There's a ball cleared by Christendom out of bounds, right left of our table. Thought for a minute that might be coming right at the professor, Paul Miller, the producer of this show. But it's saved by a fan, and here comes a throw-in from Central Penn. Ball is thrown in. Kayla Murin from the back. Wall pass for Wisland. Terrific passing. Real nice 1-2. There's Murin with the long shot. Oh boy, that's such a long shot, but she's got the leg. If anybody can get that ball there, it's her. Morgan ran onto it, but she couldn't quite get there in time. These young ladies are so tired, it's hard for them to do a lot of communication. There's an intentional handball. You don't see too many handballs in ladies soccer because if they're protecting themselves from the ball, they'll let that go. But this was actually a case of someone reaching out and touching a ball when they were not, had no other reason to do so other than gain a tactical advantage. So that's called a handball. That's a direct kick for Central Penn coming in, and Murin, I think maybe a little bit in her frustration, just tees it up and hammers it just a little bit wide left. And that was from 50 meters. That's reminiscent of a ball you might see hit by a professional female player. She's really got a leg on her. So the Lady Knights, you just have to give them credit right now because they are working extremely hard. You don't see any slack. They're not giving up. They're not walking. They're resting when they can because they must, being down one body and not having subs. But at the same time, the hustle rate continues to be high. They keep working hard, and they're trying to pass the ball and do the right things. And they've got several people out of position as well, which is doubly tough. So here's a throw, and we send Murin over to the right-hand side to take that throw. She gets it up front to Morgan, and it's cleared immediately by a player who's really been largely overlooked today, and that's Kate Sanchi, number 2 for Christendom. She plays in the center back position, more or less what you call a sweeper, because she's playing singular in the middle of the field. There's no side-by-side central defender. So yeah, they're in a sweeper stopper shape in the back, meaning their central defenders are stacked, not side by side. And having said that, this young number 2 has just been a rock all day. Actually, she's not that young. She's a senior, and she's out of Manassas, Virginia, which is a really, really strong area. Of course, it's very populated, a lot of players. And she's also capable of playing in the midfield, which means she's versatile as well. Real nice player, and this will be one of her last games as a college player. Actually, this may be actually her very last game, because I believe Christendom is about done for this season. They may have one more match on their schedule, but then that'll be it for them. So I think this is either it for her or it's darn close, and I believe that young lady, the seniors for Christendom, might be done. And there's another goal for Christendom, number 16 this time. That's Anna Solitario. Just put a ball in the net, and it is now 4-0. Christendom leading over Central Penn, and fatigue is now officially set in for Central Penn. They are very, very tired and discouraged, and rightfully so. But I know Coach Ubaldo, he will not let them let down. They will keep pushing themselves within the limits of their bodies. They will continue to push and work hard, and there's just an ounce of quit in one of these young ladies, and they will continue to make this school proud by working hard up there. So here comes Whistling Verna. She's just battling against about 5 defenders and still winning balls left and right. It's just amazing the batteries that girl has. She just is an Energizer bunny. Takes a long shot, the goalkeeper misplays it, and it just goes wide of the goal. It was a really crazy ball. She had a ton of spin on it, and it curved. And the goalkeeper, who is not the regular goalkeeper for Christendom, because it's just a field player with a penny on, or a bib as we call it, she just misplayed the curveball, if you will, and it went right by her and just missed the goal literally by a foot. So unfortunately, Central Penn just missed their first goal by a whisker. But that was it shows you got to keep trying, and there is no quit in whistling. So here's a breakaway for Christendom. Hard shot right side, and the rebound is put home. Another goal for Christendom. Number 14, Hibble. Helena scored their first goal of the game, and now she scores their 5th goal of the game off a rebound that came off of Sierra DeWalt. She actually made a really nice save on the initial shot by Martha Blank, and then unfortunately the rebound came off to her right, and there was no defender there to help her, and that player had an easy point blank empty goal to shoot into, and that is no reflection on Sierra whatsoever. That's just a reflection on fatigue. The players being able to get back and do their job because their legs are just shot. So unfortunately, things are just going from bad to worse here for Central Penn in this situation, because they're just completely tired. And that's what happens when the other team has 3 substitutions. 3 players they can sub on the side of the field, and you have none, and you're down a person as well. That's just difficult, and all we can do is hope that Nada Shalal is okay, that she's going to be okay over there and able to return for their next game, because Central Penn is definitely not done yet. They play Christendom today at 3 o'clock in this game, but then on Saturday the 26th they will be at Valley Forge University down Philadelphia way in that historic area, and they will have a tough game against Valley Forge, and then they play these Christendom Crusaders again at Christendom on Monday the 28th in what will be their final game of the season. Now that Saturday game, so they have 2 away games left. So this is actually the last home game of the season for the Central Penn Knights. So any player who is in their final year, that being like a Kim Leitzel or maybe even a Madeline Gleason, they might be done. This might be their last collegiate game as college athletes. And likewise, if a student is in a 2-year degree program, they could actually be a sophomore and be a senior, and they could be done as well. So for example, Central Penn has a fantastic PTA OTA, physical therapy assistant, occupational therapy assistant program. Both of those programs are just top flight at Central Penn, but they're 2-year programs, so those players can be sophomores and and be done with their soccer career. And I know that because I coached the men's team 2 years, and I knew that my PTA, OTA major players were going to go away after just 2 years. And that's real tough because we had some extremely talented players come through the program that we could not maintain after just 2 years. We had to lose them because they're in a 2-year degree program, and that's the way that works. There's not a thing you can do about it. So you just deal with it. So yeah, you have to think a little bit about the young ladies out here that'll be done today and their careers might be over. That's a really, really emotional time for a college athlete, because it's a big deal to play a college sport. And these kids have just worked their tails off this year. They are great young ladies that just work extremely hard, and they have never quit the whole season, and they've never had the numbers they really need. And so you just have to be proud for them and happy for them, and hope that they just continue to work as hard as they can right up to the last whistle. So Central Penn continues to battle. They're playing defense right now. Number 5 is knocking the ball into the middle of the field for Christendom, and number 15 now has a breakaway, and she knocks it off the top bar over the goal. That's a goal kick to Central Penn, almost a 6th goal for Christendom. Thankfully not. I think enough damage has been done, and hopefully we can get to that final whistle without any more goals relinquished. So Central Penn will continue to fight down on the right-hand side. Partenheimer knocks the ball off of the Christendom player and then defends her cross as well. Great job by number 28, Michelle Partenheimer. She's a freshman, so we'll see her for some time to come, hopefully. She'll continue to play for the years ahead. Coach Ubaldo has a number of freshmen on his roster. 8, actually. So with eight freshmen on the roster, he certainly has options for the future. So Christendom has switched goalkeepers. They actually took number 9 playing on the field. That's Melanie Heinlein, and they moved her back into goal. And number 10, Lucy Stanford, who was in goal, is now out on the field. And so they did a goalkeeper change while play was sort of going on, and I have to say I have not seen that before. That's really something. But they managed to pull it off, and I guess if they can do it in hockey and change them as quick as they do, then we can do it out here in ladies soccer too. Good job by Christendom to pull that one off. When you're using field players in goal, I guess you do what you have to do. And that's credit to them, because they have a clean, what's called a clean sheet. A clean sheet in soccer means that's our term for shutout. A shutout in soccer is a clean sheet. It's a British term, and comes from the Premiership. And Christendom's sporting a clean sheet with field players in goal, and that's a tremendous accomplishment on their part. So those of you that are not regular soccer fans have picked up a few more terms of vernacular from the soccer game. We play on a pitch, and the cleats are not called cleats, they're called boots. And a shot on goal is a shot on frame. There's a lot of different vernacular in soccer that is unique. And it's also not called soccer. The majority of the world calls it football. There's Wislin Verna with a real hard shot off the right-hand side. Good for her. And the save is made by their sweeper, who has moved back into goal, and she made a terrific save on that shot. It's good to see Wislin get a shot off. Here comes Alina Griffith with Wislin up through the middle of the field. She passes it to the right, actually, over to number 2. Good job by the Central Penn defender, clearing the ball away. And here comes Christendom the other way. Number 5 is breaking into space. That's Martha Blank. Martha's done some real serious damage today. She's been a terrific player in this game. She lobs the ball in number 16, Solitario, but it's ricochets off her foot, goes over the end line, chased by the ball boy, who happens to be our homecoming king, one of our top students. And Robert fetches that ball. And Central Penn's back in business. Back in business. So here's Kayla Mirren, who's just been an unbelievable very, very little help. There's just been so few bodies on the field for Central Penn all year. They don't have a lot of people out there, and she plays every minute of every game and just plays just incredible defense or offense, really. She moves up into the middle field and is equally dominant up there as well. Terrific athlete. I know her primary sport is volleyball, and she had hoped to play volleyball in college, but Central Penn doesn't have women's volleyball, or men's for that matter. As a sport, we focus on soccer, and she just joined the soccer team. And there's another goal for Central Penn. No offsides call, though I thought it was awful close. Number 5, Martha Blank, fed a beautiful ball into Sophia Hudson, who really honestly deserves a goal. She's been the controlling midfielder for them all day. Terrific skills in the middle of the field, controls the pace of the game. You always have one of those players that just gives you rhythm in the middle of the field. And if you don't, you're in trouble. And she's that player, and it's nice to see when they actually get a goal, because they're the workhorses that get things done.
School.
So we're live from Adams-Ricci Park in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, and it's 6-0, Christendom on top against Central Penn. And here's Central Penn with a throw, and they are down in the Christendom end. Fighting, Morgan is fighting for position in front of the goal. She's got 3 defenders on her, and she just keeps fighting. And unfortunately, she got frustrated and just shoved the girl to the ground. So we're going the other way. Kristen's on ball coming out of the back. She's smiling and laughing. There's just there's nothing she could do about it. So they're gonna book her. She gets a yellow card. And you know what? In football, when you've worked as hard as she has the whole match, playing down a body, that's actually a badge of honor. And now, unfortunately, Wislin makes a comment to the referee about it, and she sees yellow as well. So we're gonna have to keep our mouths closed and not say a thing to the referee, so we can stay on the pitch, because this gentleman's refed a lot of soccer games in his life. He refs professional soccer. He refs at a very, very high level, and he's not. You just don't want to be inappropriate to them. So unfortunately, the frustration level is very high. So the referee did the right thing. He dealt with it. That's just a sign of frustration. If you're a competitor and an athlete, you understand what that feels like. So here comes Christendom down the right-hand side. Number 10 knocking a ball forward, and Murin just clears it right out of there like she always does. Her and Griffith in the middle of the field. They're now playing side by side instead of stacked. So they're central defenders now instead of sweeper stopper. And Christendom coming down the left-hand side now. A ball knocked forward into the area, and Griffith clears it, as she always does. And that ball goes off the end line. I believe that'll be a goal kick to Central Penn. So Murin will tee it up yet again, and we'll bring another ball out of the back for Central Penn. Hopefully they can get somebody into space and maybe get a shot off and get a goal before this game ends. A lot of people like home games early in the season. I like my home games late in the season. At Central Penn, Coach Murillo has a tough ask here. There's another goal for Christendom, limping around. Number 16, Anna Solitario just blasted a ball with her left foot past Sierra DeWalt, and that ball was placed as perfectly as a shot can be. Side netting, far side, nothing Sierra can do. That's just, when someone shoots the ball that well, you tip your hat to them and you move on. I believe it's up to 7-0 here. We have no scoreboard, but I believe we're at 7-0 in this match, and Christendom has obviously taken a commanding lead, and they're now draining their bench and bringing everybody on the field that hasn't been playing that much, and off they go. At this point, you really want your players to, as a foul for Central Penn, ball to Christendom coming out of their back. At this point, you really want to see players be a little bit selfish. And I know that sounds weird, but when you're down 7-0, you just try to score a goal. You just want any hint of positivity in your situation. So what you're going to do at that point is tell players, if you can get a shot off, get a shot off. That's just what you do. So if you have to be selfish and dribble through 3 people to score a goal, you dribble through 3 people and you score a goal, because you need any hint of anything positive to bring out of this match, maybe the last goal scored, so that you can go into practice the next day getting ready for your next 2 away matches to end the season. You can do that with some sort of a positive momentum. All right, corner kick for Christendom. And the ball's knocked out wide left. Verna Wislin wins it, and Verna wins it. And here she goes down the right-hand side of the field. She's so fast. She's already run by a couple people just sprinting down the right side of the field, which is just unbelievable given how much she's run in this game. You got to remember the other squad, a lot of those players had rest. You know, they were subbed out so they could have rest in the game. And I mentioned in the first half, you know, if you come out in the first half, you're done. If you come out in the second half, you're not done. You can go back in. So 3 subs in the first half is 3 subs. 3 subs in the second half is actually 6. So they were able to sub half their team in the second half. That's another big strategic advantage for Christendom today, just having those extra bodies, and here's to them for doing so. And there's Wislin still working hard, just winning balls down there in the corner. Here's Murin, wins a ball and tries to knock it inside. Just totally impressive. You just can't be more proud of these young ladies for Central Penn, continuing to just work as hard as they can work, outnumbered and very, very tired. You just have to run for 90 minutes to know what it takes to run for 90 minutes. It's brutal. And so here's Christendom, and number 1 breaks into space and walks in and scores a goal. And Central Penn, quite frankly, is just completely spent. They have no energy left, and there's just no gas left in the tank. Players are doubled over with exhaustion, and what I expect to see next is people getting leg cramps that will really hurt their ability to play, because they've had no chance to get water, and when you can't replenish your water supply in a soccer game when it's 70 degrees out, and you never get a sub, it's brutal. It's really tough. And they are tired and they are frustrated, but they will keep working. So there's a ball forward by Murin. Number 10 making a strong run down the right-hand side for Christendom. That's Lucy Stanford. Lucy's a freshman from Front Royal, Virginia. She's normally plays a lot of goalkeeper, and she's out in the field and she's enjoying her chance to run. I mean, she sprinted a good 50 meters with that ball, and I'm sure she feels it now, but she's getting her exercise, and that's a good thing. Here's Morgan coming out of the back for Central Penn to Wiz. Wiz knocks it forward, hoping to get a player into space. But unfortunately, it's off the end line. So that's a goal kick for Christendom. So we should be getting near the end of this match, and that would be merciful at this point. Score's completely out of hand, not even worth discussing anymore. So now it's just a matter of keeping your pride, keeping your poise, being professional and working hard, and continuing to try to get that ball in the net and have that one hint of something positive going on for Central Penn, other than just the pure character and work rate that these girls have demonstrated. Murin dumps another ball in deep, but quite frankly, the legs just aren't there to make those runs. Everybody is just spent. Here's a ball up out of the right-hand side for Christendom. Comes up to Blank, and Blank knocks it inside to number 1 Hudson, and she goes right back to Blank with the wall pass. And again, you have to give them credit. This team from Virginia has done a fantastic job of possessing the ball today. Their record will raise to 7-9, and their season is about over. And they've played some very, very good teams. I see Shaw University on their schedule. That's just a tremendously successful program. Warren Wilson, another top flight program from down in the Carolinas, lost 8-2, lost 12-0. Shaw's a Division II or a Division III school. They're not even in this category of college. So you have to give Christendom credit too. They might have a losing record, but they have played some very, 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 very good squads. So credit to them for what they've accomplished this year as they make their way back to Virginia here. And again, we're just waiting for 3 whistles. 2 whistles halftime, 3 whistles end of match. And Alina Griffith throws herself in front of a ball trying to make a tackle against number 1 for Christendom, and she gets another shot off. Another good save by Sierra DeWalt. The goalkeeper has to keep telling themselves, whenever you've given up a lot of goals, every single time they scored, they got by 10 other people before they got by me. And that's the only thing a goalkeeper can tell themselves, because a lot of the goals given up today were given up back post with an empty net, and that just simply means that Central Penn wasn't able to be there back post, and that's not on the goalkeeper, that's on the offside defender to be back there and taking care of their mark on the backside, because a goalkeeper can't do that. That's just that would be superhuman. So give Sierra a lot of credit for the job she's done today, and the whole squad for Central Penn. Ball's out of bounds on the left-hand side, and that's Christendom throw-in right at midfield. Number 14, Helena Hibble, has 2 goals today, and she takes the throw-in. Ball's turned over to Central Penn, and Partenheimer brings it up out of the back. She gets a nice ball up into the midfield to Verna, but it doesn't quite connect, and Christendom is able to win it and bring it out of the back. Here's their number 10, Lucy Stanford, normally their goalkeeper, and she makes a nice pass into the midfield to number 1, Sophia Hudson. Good job for a goalkeeper that goes out in the field and is able to pass a ball and pass it well. There's an advantage call on a foul on Central Penn. Again, that's frustrating to people if they don't understand it, but the foul had happened a few seconds earlier, and the ball had moved on, and then they come back to the foul. Free kick taken by number 1, Hudson. Cleared out by Griffith. Touched by Verna going out to the midfield, and it's won by number 15. That's Christine McLaughlin, who played up front in the first half and netted some goals. Now she's back in the back protecting her goal and doing a great job of it. Through ball played through to number 15 to McLaughlin. Almost connects for another goal, but great job by Sierra DeWalt coming off her line and making that save. And she's up at the 18, and she's punting the ball coming out. Throw into Christendom, left-hand side. Now that's an illegal throw. There we go. Called by the referee, so that'll be a Central Penn throw-in. A legal throw in soccer, both arms have to be even, and her 2 arms were not even. They were sort of cockamamie, if you will. That's a small town term. And I'm from a small town. Ball played through on the ground of Christendom to Blank on the right-hand side. She's got a tough angle. Pulls the ball back and knocks it back to their central midfielder, number 1, Hudson. She's defended by Griffith. Griffith hits her in the foot, and they call a foul. Boy, it's a bit on the ticky-tack side, but that's fine. That's the referee's job to protect the players. So free kick by Hudson. Verna's able to be close up and blocks that free kick, and the player didn't ask for space, so she doesn't have to give her the space. And the attack is thwarted. Christendom ball coming out of their back. They're building up from their defense, knocking it around, taking advantage of the fact that Central Penn's very tired. Here comes Christendom the other way. Nice touch by number 19, Madigan Gannon. She's a freshman from Jackson, Michigan. Jackson, Michigan. So she traveled a good distance to be playing in Virginia, coming out of Michigan. Can't say I know where Jackson is, but I'm sure she's very happy to be in sunny Virginia, especially as we head into the cold winters of Michigan weather. They get a lot of snow up that way. So it's a corner kick here for Christendom, another dangerous situation. A lot of height on the field. I just mentioned Madigan Gannon. She's a really tall girl. They have several tall players on the field, so Blank is not short either. So they have a number of players that could be dangerous in this situation. Fortunately for Central Penn, Morgan is able to come out and steal that ball away before it ever even gets near the goal. Good for her. Great work rate by young Miss Morgan. And the central defender for Christendom knocks a ball back in, and it's cleared by Garber. So young Hannah Garber has been fairly quiet today. She's a terrifically talented player, very, very good soccer player. Left-footed, so she's on the left side a lot. Unfortunately, the ball hasn't been on the left side a lot, so you haven't heard her name a tremendous amount, but she is a very, very strong player that Central Penn Knights count on very heavily. And there's our 3 whistles. Match over. Unfortunately, a commanding win for Christendom, but you just give credit to Ubaldo Murillo and the whole Lady Central Penn Knights soccer team. This is their last home game of the year, so this will be our last broadcast of one of their games for the year. But give them credit and the best of luck as they head out to their last 2 games. So this is Doug Fisher from Adams-Ricci Park in Mechanicsburg. We thank you for joining us today for the broadcast, and on behalf of the professor, Paul Miller, I thank you for joining us and wish you the very best.